Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree Modern Farmhouse Autumn Wreath. It's going to be part of Wreath Week series for autumn. We're going to use a green wreath form from the Dollar Tree, as well as some of these wooden medallion decor. What are they called? Garland thingies? I don't know. And then I'm going to use this orange burlap that was gifted to me, but they do sell orange burlap at the Dollar Tree. That you can get now because it's autumn season, but you can use whatever color you want to. And then I'm going to use some of this pretty leafy orange and purpley leaves on burlap from Dollar General just to create a hanger. And again, it's because it's what I have, but go ahead and pick one that goes with what you like as well. I'm also going to do a little bit more of the alcohol coloring technique on one of the leaves just to make it stand out from the other two, but you'll see that when we get to it. Okay, so if you want to do that technique, you'll also need some alcohol swabs or some alcohol and cotton swabs and a Sharpie. I'm actually picking orange and purple. The orange is almost faded. I told you guys I like to keep my dry Sharpies for shading. It's really kind of like a tip that I learned in high school. It does really add to dimension when you can shade with a magic marker. So I basically shade a little bit with the orange and then I'll color it with the purple, but you'll see that in a second. So again, I was gifted this ribbon and it has a wire edge and it's kind of narrow, but you could see how much I have. So I was definitely eager to use it this year as well. I was actually gifted some really lovely things. But what I started off with is I just put a tiny bit of glue on the back of the wreath and on the edge of the ribbon. And you want to wrap your wreath around and you want to kind of keep it at a little bit of an angle, as you remember. The burlap from the Dollar Tree as well. If you pull it tight, obviously don't jerk it, pull it, because then you could make your threads come apart. But if you slowly tug on it, and wrap your hand around it as you wrap around the wreath, it will create a smoother finish. You won't have as many bumps and ripples and ridges and wrinkles and all the things that we don't like. But I've decided to just take a huge roll of this off of the roll because it kept twisting up and getting into knots. So then I was like, all right, well, let's do this. Even if I had to have put it into two sections, I definitely think that doing this was better than working on that big roll of ribbon. But if you use the burlap from the Dollar Tree, it's obviously on a much smaller ribbon, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now, of course, you can use this method of wrapping a wreath with any embellishments, but I just wanted this one to have a little bit more of a modern flair, as I feel it might, but that's just my opinion. The 3 wood pieces just have a nice clean finish as opposed to actual real leaves or real flowers. And the same with that stamped ribbon from the Dollar General. It just has a very modern feel to me. So I wanted to keep going with that. Now, of course, you could create this wreath any color you want to. We're going to be doing other wreaths this week, and the 99-cent only store has this wreath in white, which is definitely an advantage if you're using a lighter color fabric or a ribbon that has like a burlap ribbon that has holes in it. But I don't think the green with the orange is objectionable because it does add to that autumn feel. But if you don't like the green coming through your open weaved burlap like you'll get at the Dollar Tree, then you just want to go ahead and overlap it onto itself twice. You may need a little bit more ribbon if you do it that method or that technique. Okay. Now we're just overlapping so we don't have any of the wreath form come through. But while I have you guys as a captive audience, we're going to be doing Autumn Wreath Week this week. I'm going to be doing a different style and type of wreath every day. We started on Monday. I just didn't announce it on Monday, where we created the door hanging, the anti-wreath wreath with the 2 acorns. But then the rest of the wreaths are actually wreaths. So, but I might actually make a 8-day week. Who knows? but I have some really fun ideas that I wanted to share with you guys. So, all right. And now when you get to the end, you want to glue it down. But I wanted to make sure that I flipped the wreath over, as you see, to see which side was the good side. I want to make sure that I ended it on the side that didn't come out as nice as the other side, if that makes any sense. Okay? So now we're going to take these wooden, they're like ornaments. They're so pretty. And they do have like a laser edge cutting on them. But I want to show you what they look like just to lay the natural ones on here. I've just added a little bit of hot glue and I laid them in different directions. But I really wanted the third one that sits on top in the middle to just have a little bit of dimension. So like I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and do a very similar technique that we did the other day in on the big leaf. I'm taking the orange Sharpie that's almost faded, as you could see. It's really dry, but it works really nice for shading. And I'm just going to bring that in. By laying the orange underneath the purple, it does kind of create a more of a brown look to the purple, but actually purple and yellow would create brown if you were actually mixing them. But as you can see here, I started with this purple Sharpie and I just put it on the very edges. It does look really nice and dark, maybe even brown before you blend it, but then when you start to blend it, you see it is purple. And I just love the addition of purple in autumn colors. Yeah, I didn't protect my work surface, so forgive me. I had to go clean that up when I was done. Yeah, you definitely want to do this on your cutting mat. I don't know where my head was at. Sorry. And I was able to do this entire leaf with just one alcohol swab, which worked out really well for me. Okay. And you just want to repeat it. I wanted this one to have a nice dark edge, but I wanted that purple, that light purple, to bleed into the whole section of the leaf. I also wanted to mention the other day, I didn't mention, that you could draw on the veins as well. That would give it a very nice leaf feel to it as well, but I didn't. And I feel like the cleaner look is more modern, so without the veins would be just in my eye, that's what I feel like. All right, and when I have it just where I want it, I'll go ahead and glue it down in the position that I choose. The holes didn't bother me, but you could go ahead and fill them in with wood filler if you want to. But really, they really weren't objectionable to me. The only one you can really see is the first one anyway. So now I've just taken about 1.5 feet of this ribbon. I wrapped it around the wreath and just tied it in a knot. It's not going to be a bow. Like I said, this, again, I'm trying to keep a modern feel. And I just tied it in a double knot. And then I'm going to dog ear the ends in 2 different directions. And then I'm going to flip it over. And when I flip it over, we're going to not only secure the ribbon to the wreath so it doesn't spin around, but we're going to secure a little piece of jute hanger to the ribbon as well. Okay, so just put a tiny bit of hot glue back there so that basically sticking the hanger on there so it doesn't roll around on you after you get it hung up. Yep, you want to use safety first. So thank you to you, my precious beauties, who sent me all of these beautiful gifts. I got ribbon from somebody. I got the spatula from someone else. Love you guys. So that's it. It's really simple and easy. I almost feel ashamed teaching you this, but hopefully you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in making this wreath. And if you want, click subscribe, and when the little bell pops up, you can ring that bell, and YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!